Hi guys, it's ASBYT and these two phones are the next in line of the hugely popular Redmi Note series of phones. We've got the Redmi Note 9 and the Redmi Note 9 Pro. This unboxing and first look video is following on from the launch product demo, so you can get a real sense of what the device would be like to purchase and own yourself. So this parcel arrived from Xiaomi, who were also kind enough to sponsor today's video. And in case you didn't know, Xiaomi actually created the Redmi brand as a way to bring great budget and mid-range devices to market. Inside the large box were two smaller boxes containing two very such devices. The Redmi Note 9 in Midnight Grey, which has a maximum of 4GB of RAM and 128GB of storage, and the Note 9 Pro in Interstellar Grey, which has a maximum of 6GB of RAM and 128GB of storage. Both of course have expandable storage using a microSD card. These two devices sit either side of the Note 9S, which I reviewed a couple of weeks ago, with the Note 9 being described as everything you need, the 9S being the performance star, and the Note 9 Pro being flagship inspired. So if we lift the lids, you get an identical unboxing experience with both. We get the manuals and soft cases first, before we're greeted with the actual phones. And finally, when we move those to one side, we get the charger and charging cables. So straight away, looking at the design of the two, they are very, very similar. But there are a few key differences as well. Both have the Redmi logo at the bottom and both have a quad camera setup. More on the differences and performance of those later. You will notice the LED flashes are in different positions, and underneath the camera on the standard Note 9 we have a fingerprint scanner, where we don't on the Pro because it's housed on the power button on the side under the volume rocker. IR blasters on the top, dual SIM card trays on the other side, with the speaker grills, Type-C charging ports and headphone jacks all in the same position on the bottom. Yes, that's right, we have headphone jacks. Now the Note 9 Pro has Gorilla Glass 5 construction on both the rear and front display panel. The standard Note 9 also shares the GG5 front, but has a slightly less premium construction elsewhere. We have a full screen Full HD Plus LCD display on both, 6.53 inches on the standard and a larger 6.67 inches on the Pro. The only real difference on the front is the fact we have a 30 megapixel front-facing camera at the top left-hand side on the Note 9 and a 16 megapixel camera in the centre on the Pro. Now, as we've touched briefly on camera, let's dissect the quad camera on the rear, starting with the standard Note 9. We have a 48 megapixel primary sensor with f1.8 aperture, an 8 megapixel ultra wide angle lens with f2.2 aperture, a 2 megapixel f2.4 macro lens, and a 2 megapixel f2.4 depth sensor as well. If we jump to the Pro, as stated, we do have a quad camera setup as well, but we have a 64 megapixel f1.9 aperture primary lens, an 8 megapixel f2.2 aperture ultra wide angle lens, a 5 megapixel macro lens with f2.4 aperture, and a 2 megapixel f2.4 aperture depth sensor as well. So you do get a slight upgrade with the Pro model in the camera department, and you also get it in video recording as well. 1080p at 30 frames a second on the front-facing camera on both, but on the rear we do get that upgrade. So we get 4K at 30 frames a second on the rear here and 1080p 60 frames a second as well, whereas on the standard Note 9 we just get the 1080p at 30 frames a second max. Now, one huge selling point of the Redmi Note 9 series is of course battery. We've got a whopping 5020 mAh cell on both. And we also get fast charging on both, but we do get the superior 30 watts fast charging on the Pro compared to the 18 watts fast charging on the standard. The Pro also has a superior chipset running with the Qualcomm Snapdragon 720G compared to the standard Note 9, which runs off the MediaTek Helio G85. The 720G is one of the latest 700 series chips from Qualcomm, offering great performance for the price, and the G stands for gaming, which aids that sentiment. The phone's performance is also aided by fluid software with Xiaomi's MIUI 11 skin running over the top of Android 10. NFC is also available on both as well, so if you're a fan of mobile payments, then that's going to be great for you. And of course, one of the biggest selling points of the Redmi Note series is price. So what do these two retail for? Well, the starting price for the standard Note 9 is just £180, £250 for the Pro model, and considering you get that quad camera setup, a whopping 5020 mAh battery, a full screen display and capable chipsets, I feel Xiaomi have really hit that great value for money mark again. Let me know in the comments what you think of the Redmi Note series of phones and the Note 9 series in particular. Is it something you're interested in? Are you going to go with the standard? Are you going to go with the Pro? Let me know. Like and share if you enjoyed this video and found it helpful. Subscribe and hit the notification bell if you're new to the channel and want to be notified every time I post a video on anything tech, news, unboxings, reviews. I love you and leave you. I'll see you in the next one. So if you want to, peace out.
Do just what you want.